I'm attending one of the health professional schools here at the U, and the prerequisites, of course, were like anatomy, physiology, biology, and yet...
Those are all offensive and terrible.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. We've discussed quite a bit about transgenderism and whatnot, even more than, say, cardiovascular disease. And we've even had assignments...
That makes perfect sense, yeah.
I know, right? We've even had assignments where you would get docked off or not get the points if you didn't say that you would, let's say, even change their gender in the medical profile to the gender that they say, which I think is just terrible. Considering
it's idiotic.
Yeah.
It's fully idiotic. If it says on your profile that you're a member of the sex to which you do not belong, then you are going to get profiled medically wrong.
Certainly.
Okay, if you are having lower stomach pain and it says on your chart that you are a man, we're going to be looking at indigestion. If it says you're a woman, we're going to be looking at something else. Okay, this is idiotic.
Yeah. So going off that, I guess you were starting to discuss it. I just wanted to know what your opinion was on sort of the implications of this, not only like a culturally significant issue that you've talked about, more invading into more hardcore science institutions, especially considering your wife's a doctor.
Yeah, she is. As you may know. Yeah. So I think that I think it's egregious. I think that biology is biology. It's amazing to me that people who proclaim that they are scientists are so willing to overlook basic biology and proclaim that people who are fully biologically male can magically become biologically female. We're not talking about people who are intersex. I always like when people who debate this issue immediately go to the marginal issues where there actual is blurring of the lines. People who are intersex or they have some genetic condition, they have Klinefelter syndrome or something. Right? That's not what we're talking about here. The actual argument of the transgender civil rights movement is that people who are fully male can actually become fully female. That is obvious nonsense. It's obviously nonsense. And again, if you are the very idea that a doctor is supposed to sit there and profile you based on what you wish you were is so insane and stupid and counterproductive. I mean, if you're a transgender person, would you really want the doctor profiling you based along the lines of organs you don't have? If you're a biological man, do you want to walk into a doctor and he's trying to figure out how to fix your uterus? You don't have one. It's ridiculous. Okay, that stuff is just beyond the pale. But it does demonstrate the full-scale insanity that now predominates. And again, I've had this argument 1,000 times with folks, obviously, and the use of politics above science is obvious in everything from what you're talking about to even the rewriting of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of the latest edition, which is completely ascientific, based on no statistical evidence, and was essentially a political decision to relabel gender dysphoria from a mental illness or mental disorder, was called a mental disorder, to it's not a mental disorder at all, it's just the depression associated with it that's a mental disorder. Well, by that definition, schizophrenia isn't a mental disorder. It's only the depression and suicidality that go along with it that are a mental disorder. You can literally do that with any mental disorder. So it's again, for people who proclaim that they care about science and facts, to say this kind of stuff is ascientific and afactual.